You have been running, searching, and pushing yourself to find a place that feels secure. A place where your efforts would finally bring stability. But what if I told you that your security is not hidden in the job market, not buried in endless applications or interviews, not in the chase for opportunities that seem to run further the more you pursue them? The truth is, your provision was already spoken over your life before you even thought about working for it. It is already prepared, already aligned, already existing in the unseen, waiting for you to align with it. This is why the struggle to force doors open has left you tired, because those were never your doors to begin with. You are not meant to fit into the world system the way everyone else does. You are chosen, and chosen ones are sustained in ways that defy human logic. Beloved, before we go deeper into this message, I want you to pause and truly take this moment in this video is part of a greater journey to align with divine timing and destiny. I want you to stay until the very end, because the words you are about to receive carry energy, carry clarity, carry alignment, and I want you to take part in this movement, not just as a listener but as a participant. Go now and write your warmest wishes in the comments. Declare them into the universe. Add the codes of alignment, 99 and 777 symbols of completion and divine order. Subscribe so that you do not walk this path alone, but as part of a growing family of chosen ones who rise. Together, your words, your intentions, your energy will join with countless others, and together we create a force that awakens miracles. Now listen carefully. God said your provision is already prepared. That means the supply for your life is not conditional on whether you impress a company, whether you send the right resume, or whether the world chooses you. You have already been chosen by something higher. There is a table already set for you, a space already reserved in the realm of abundance. To look for work as if that work is your savior is to misunderstand the source of your provision. Work may be one channel, but it is not the source. The source is greater, the source is eternal. The source cannot be blocked by the hands of man. That is why some doors you chased refused to open. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were being redirected to what was already secured for you. The world trains people to believe that unless they hustle endlessly, unless they fight and claw for recognition, they will never have enough. But chosen ones are not governed by this system. Your journey is not to beg the world to recognize you, but to step into the alignment that has already been established. Think of it this way. If a banquet has been prepared for you, would you run through the streets hungry, knocking on strangers' doors for scraps of bread? No, you would walk with assurance to the table, already waiting, confident that your place is there. This is what it means when it is said, do not look for work, for your provision is already prepared. Your spirit has been restless because deep inside, you already know this truth. That's why ordinary jobs drain you, why fitting into boxes suffocates you, why even when you try to do what others do, it doesn't last. You were not made to live by scraps. You were not made to survive on crumbs. You were created to be provided for by divine alignment, to be placed where resources flow to you without you begging for them. And the reason it feels so unnatural to chase endlessly is because you were never supposed to. Look back at your life. Think of the moments when something arrived just in time, when you received help without asking, when doors opened in ways you didn't orchestrate. That was not chance. That was provision already waiting for you, unfolding at the exact moment it was needed. Your story has been full of these signs, but the world taught you to ignore them, to believe that unless you fight like everyone else, you will be left behind. Today, you are reminded you are not behind. You are right where you need to be, and what is for you cannot be delayed, denied, or taken by another. So stop worrying that you do not have enough. Stop chasing opportunities that drain your soul. Stop measuring your worth by the world's definition of labor. Instead, align yourself with the truth. Your provision is already prepared. Walk into each day knowing that resources are on their way, that abundance has your name written on it, that divine timing cannot miss its target. When you live from that place of trust, you no longer beg, you attract. You no longer chase, you receive. You no longer fear, you flow. This is the great shift that chosen ones must make. From striving to trusting, from chasing to allowing, from fear of lack to certainty of abundance. It is not laziness, it is alignment. It is not avoidance, it is surrender. Because when you stop looking for work as if it is your savior, you finally see the truth. The Savior has already prepared everything you need. You are stepping into a season where the illusions of the world are being stripped away, and this message comes to set you free from the heaviest chain, the belief that your survival depends on chasing what others chase. Understand this: the system of the world thrives on keeping people trapped in cycles where they work endlessly, burn themselves out, and still feel empty. But you chosen one were never designed to live in that loop. That is why no matter how hard you tried to fit in, it never worked. The jobs didn't last. The satisfaction didn't stay. The money came but slipped away because you were not born to build your life on sand. Your foundation is not supposed to be fragile, conditional, or controlled by men. Your foundation is divine. When you stop searching for work out of desperation, you create space for provision to reveal itself. Think of it like a garden. If you keep digging and uprooting the soil every day, in fear that nothing will grow, you kill the seed before it ever sprouts. But when you trust the process, when you water with patience, when you let the light touch it, the seed knows exactly when to rise. Your provision is like that. It has already been planted. It is already alive, but it requires you to trust and stop disturbing the soil with anxiety. Your worry delays what is already prepared. Your desperation blinds you to the ways provision is trying to reach you. Chosen one, this is why rest is so important. Not the kind of rest that means doing nothing with your life, but the rest that comes from trust. The kind of rest that says, I know my steps are guided. I know my path is secured. I know my portion cannot be stolen. That rest is magnetic. It draws opportunities to you that no resume could create. It brings people into your life who carry the resources you need. It aligns events so perfectly that you could never plan them yourself. Rest in this sense is power. Rest is the demonstration of trust that activates provision. Do not misunderstand. This does not mean you will sit idle and everything will fall from the sky. It means you will no longer chase what is not yours. It means you will no longer beg for scraps. It means you will move with discernment. You will act when aligned. You will step into doors that open naturally, instead of banging endlessly on doors that were never meant for you. There is a difference between striving and flowing. Striving exhausts, flowing empowers. Striving drains your soul. Flowing fills it. Striving is based on fear of lack. Flowing is based on certainty of provision. You have been conditioned to think that without constant effort you will lose everything. But think of all the times you had nothing left to give, and yet provision still arrived. Think of the moments when your hands were empty, but life still surprised you with what you needed. Those memories are proof that you are not sustained by effort alone, but by divine orchestration. The chosen ones are sustained differently. They live in a frequency where resources are drawn to them because their very existence carries purpose. You are not valuable because of a title, a position, or a paycheck. You are valuable because of who you are and what you carry, and provision follows value. Let this sink into your spirit. Provision is not something you need to earn. It is something already aligned to your being. Just as a tree does not run across the field searching for water, but water flows to its roots in time, you too are rooted in a divine system where all that is needed will reach you. The world may tell you that if you are not hustling, you are losing. But the higher truth says, if you are aligned, you are always winning. You already won. Because your victory was declared before you began. So release the pressure to conform. Release the weight of believing you must prove yourself to systems that were never designed for you. Release the fear that you will be left behind. The truth is, chosen one, you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, and your provision is not late. It is right on time, waiting for your trust to align with it. The signs are already around you. Look closely. The opportunities that appear without effort, the people who show up unexpectedly, the resources that seem to arrive at the last moment. These are not coincidences. They are reminders. They are proof that your supply has always been waiting in the invisible, preparing itself for the visible moment. Do not dishonor this process by begging for what is already yours. Instead, rise with assurance, knowing that your role is not to search endlessly for provision but to receive it. You will soon look back at this season and laugh at how hard you thought you needed to struggle. You will realize that provision was surrounding you all along, that the doors were already open, that the path was already paved. And in that moment you will understand why you were told not to look for work, because your true assignment is not a job. It is a calling that brings everything you need with it. Chosen one, you have to realize something profound. There's a reason you never felt at peace while chasing what others call security. It wasn't because you were lazy, unqualified, or incapable. It was because your spirit was never built for dependency on the world system. You were wired for something higher, something unshakable, something eternal. And every time you tried to mold yourself into a pattern that wasn't yours, it left you drained, confused, and wondering why nothing seemed to fit. That discomfort was not failure. It was guidance. It was the whisper, reminding you that your provision does not come from the labor of your hands alone, but from a source that has already finished the work on your behalf. Think of how many times in your life you were pushed into a corner, unsure of how you would make it. Yet somehow you did. Think of the nights you cried, asking how tomorrow could possibly work, only to wake up and find a way had already been made. That is evidence that your survival is not based on endless searching, but on alignment with what has already been written. When you live like everyone else, you limit yourself to the scraps of a system built on fear. But when you accept who you are, you begin to operate in overflow, because you finally recognize that your portion has always been waiting for you. This is why so many chosen ones go through seasons of emptiness before they awaken, because until you realize the world system cannot sustain you, you will keep depending on it. And once it fails you enough times, once the door is shut, no matter how hard you knock, you finally look inward and upward, and there you find the truth. Your provision was prepared long before you began searching. The path you are called to is not about trying to be seen by everyone, but about walking into what was designed with your name on it. Do not mistake this truth for passivity. Provision being prepared does not mean you sit in silence, waiting for life to happen. It means you align with your calling. Instead of chasing distractions, it means you follow the pull of your spirit rather than the demands of a system that doesn't care for your soul. When you align, doors open naturally. When you align, people appear to support you. When you align, opportunities come without you begging. That is the difference alignment brings. Ease striving brings exhaustion. Chosen one, you are entering a moment where ease will replace struggle. You may not see the full picture yet, but everything around you is shifting. The people who left, the jobs that didn't last, the rejection letters, the empty seasons, they were not evidence that you are behind. They were evidence that you are being redirected. Every loss was protection. Every delay was preparation. Every closed door was a sign that the place you were chasing was never yours to begin with. And this is why you must release fear. Fear makes you run in circles. chasing after things that were never meant for you. Fear makes you believe that if you do not cling to something temporary, you will be left with nothing. But look at your story. Every time you thought you had nothing left, something showed up. Every time you thought it was over, life proved it wasn't. That pattern will not change. Because your provision is already established, you cannot miss what is already yours. Do you know what happens when you finally accept this truth? Your energy shifts. You stop begging. You start declaring. You stop pleading. You start receiving. You stop looking for scraps. You start expecting abundance. That expectation is magnetic. It draws provision faster than desperation ever could. Because provision recognizes faith. Provision flows toward trust. Provision attaches itself to those who know they are already chosen. Imagine yourself no longer worried about where the next resource will come from. Imagine yourself waking up with peace, knowing that today is already covered. Imagine moving through life with confidence, because you know you are not chasing provision. You are carrying it with you. That reality is not a fantasy. It is your destiny the moment you truly believe that your supply is prepared. You start to live differently, and in that shift, everything changes. This is the truth you must hold on to. Provision is not something you fight for. It is something you flow into. It is not about struggling to be seen. It is about stepping into alignment and allowing what is already yours to reach you. And when you live like this, you stop being a slave to the system and start being a master of your destiny. Because chosen one, you were never created to beg for survival. You were created to embody abundance. Chosen one, your entire journey has been proof that you are sustained in ways others cannot understand. The very fact that you are still standing after everything that tried to break you is evidence that provision has always been surrounding you. Look closely. How many times did you come to the end of your strength, the end of your resources, the end of your hope, only to find that somehow, some way, life made room for you again? That was not random. That was not luck. That was the unseen reminding you. Provision was already written into your story. When the world says work harder, chase faster, never stop running, you are called to step back and remember, your steps are not random. They are ordered. You are not here to exhaust yourself in cycles that were never designed for you. You are here to walk in alignment, and alignment is a place of peace. Alignment is where provision flows, without you begging for it. Alignment is where opportunities come, not because you chase them, but because they recognized your light. This is why you cannot compare yourself to anyone else. You were not given their path, and they were not given yours. What is prepared for you cannot be touched by anyone else, because it carries your name alone. Chosen one, stop underestimating the power of your presence. Do you not see doors open? Because of the energy you carry. Rooms shift when you enter them. People feel something when they meet you, a strength, a light, a force they cannot explain. That is not by accident. That is because provision is tied to you, not to the job you are chasing. You don't need to prove your worth to the system. The system is too small to hold what you carry. That is why you have always felt different. That is why you have never been able to fully fit in. And that is why trying to live like everyone else has always left you empty. Your provision does not come by playing small. It comes when you rise into who you really are. It comes when you embrace your gifts, your uniqueness, your divine difference. The world has trained people to trade authenticity for survival, but you cannot afford that exchange. You must remain authentic, because it is your authenticity that magnetizes what belongs to you. Provision flows to truth, not to masks. Abundance flows to originality, not to imitation. And every time you try to hide yourself, to please the world, it cut off the very supply that was meant to sustain you. That season is ending now. It is time to walk as if you already have what you need, because you do. It is time to release the illusion of lack, because lack is not real in your story. It is only a test of your perception. When you believe in lack, you chase. When you believe in abundance, you attract when you see yourself as empty. You beg when you see yourself as chosen. You receive. This is the choice you face daily. Will you live by fear or by trust? Fear drains, trust multiplies. Fear blinds, trust opens your eyes. Fear makes you chase jobs you don't belong in. Trust makes you walk confidently into provision. That is already yours, chosen one. Provision will come in ways you could never plan. It will come through unexpected people, through doors you didn't even know existed, through moments that seem ordinary but are filled with divine alignment. Do not limit your expectation to the world's definitions. If you only believe, provision can come through a paycheck. You will miss the endless channels that were designed to bless you. Your provision can come through opportunities, through connections, through ideas, through miracles, and when it arrives, you will know because it will not drain you. It will elevate you. It will not leave you anxious. It will leave you at peace. Remember this: you already won. The outcome is not uncertain. The story is not hanging in the balance. The provision is not being negotiated in the background. It was finished long before you even started worrying. The struggle has been to wake you up, not to defeat you. The pressure has been to sharpen your vision, not to destroy it. And now, as you step forward, you carry the clarity that chosen ones are not sustained by scraps, but by abundance that cannot be blocked. So hold your head high. Stop searching for what is already yours. Stop chasing what has been chasing you all along. Live in the truth that provision is prepared, and watch how everything begins to shift. The more you trust, the more it flows. The more you surrender, the more it multiplies. The more you believe, the more you see. This is your season of proof. This is your moment of overflow. And this is the time you finally stop searching, because what you were searching for has already been waiting for you. Chosen one, this is the moment to release the old way of thinking. Stop believing you have to beg for survival. Stop running after doors that were never meant for you. You were never called to chase scraps. You were called to walk in abundance. Your provision has been waiting, prepared in advance, and all that's left is for you to trust it. Lift your head, breathe deeply, and know that you are already sustained, already covered, already chosen. The world may push you to search endlessly, but you know better now. You are not dependent on their system. You are aligned with a greater one. Walk boldly in this truth, because when you stop looking in fear, provision appears in peace. You already won, and nothing can take that victory away. This is your season to see with your own eyes what has been prepared for you all along.